Hi friends, hello, hi, how are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. Hello. So today I thought it would be kind of fun to sit down. I've seen a few other YouTubers doing this lately. I know Samantha Ravendall did one, I know Robbie D. Christie did one, I know Kelly Gooch did one that was really interesting, and I was kind of just had this idea of like, I love talking about YouTube. Like in my personal life, I absolutely love talking about it. I think doing YouTube is so interesting, and I think it's something that a lot of people have questions about. Like whenever I talk about the fact that I do this, I get a ton of questions about it. And I think also there's a lot of people who want to start YouTube but don't necessarily know what to expect from this. So I do think, I know I've done a couple videos like this before, but I kind of wanted to be even more open, I guess, about stuff. Just because I think the more I do it and the more I grow and the more I see things, the more interesting it kind of becomes. So I asked you guys on Instagram if there were any sort of things that you really wanted me to talk about or had questions about what it's like to be kind of a mid-size YouTuber. The last time I did videos like this, it was more from the perspective of a small YouTuber, but I think I've kind of accepted my mid-size, like where I am right now, because it's kind of a weird number to be at. I think the more you grow, the more interesting things become. So I kind of just asked you guys on Instagram if you had any questions, and I'm gonna be kind of just answering them for you. Whenever I have like kind of over dramatic makeup, I always feel weird. I never feel like myself. I feel like this looks good, but I'm probably wrong, so we'll see. This question says, how much PR do you get? I think a lot of people assume because bigger beauty gurus that like we're all on like crazy PR lists. I'm not necessarily on a lot of PR lists. I literally just got added to ColourPop's, which I don't know how that happened. But I just got added to ColourPop's. I'm on CoverGirl's. I'm obviously on Midas's. I just had a collab with them. I'm on Kaleidos's, and I'm on a couple other, I'm on Good Molecules. A couple random PR lists that I'm on, which actually, now that I'm listing them, that's actually kind of a lot. I didn't really realize until I was saying it how much that is. But more I get random PR sent to me from companies. So they'll reach out and want to do like a one-time PR offering or something like that. And a lot of the PR I get, some of it's makeup, and I would say actually a pretty good majority is makeup, but there's also a lot of, I get a lot of random PR, like I got like a pillowcase that was like a satin pillowcase. People will email me about like furniture and like home supplies and things like that. I just got some nail polish from a brand that I still have to try out. I get a lot of skincare. People love sending skincare. Like lashes randomly. So it's less about being on like a list, and I think more about people sending me random stuff just to try out, and if I put it on the channel, that's great. If I don't, I don't. So for the most part, like I think it's very sporadic. But how much PR do I get? I don't know how to like put it into terms. I get a lot of packages, I'll say that. I get a very large amount of packages. Like I get a lot of packages. But when I was gone on my trip, my parents came to my house to get my mail probably a couple times that week, and my dad, I think by the end of it, there was like 12 to 15 packages, and a very good majority of that was like PR stuff. So, you know, it varies. And I think it varies week to week. If there's a lot of releases coming, like during the winter time, I was getting a lot more stuff, but like right now it's not as much. It all depends on the time of year. Do people treat you better since you have followers? No, not maybe on the internet, and I don't know, but no, for the most part, I don't think anybody in my life cares, which is great. It's pretty much the best situation to be in, where like my friends literally do not care. And Charles doesn't treat me any better or any worse. We're just, I mean, he knew me before I started the channel. He's known me this entire time that it's been growing. That's my fiance, boyfriend. I hate the word fiance. I think it's so weird. He's been like with me through this whole process, so there was never really an opportunity to like change the way he sees me or like being weird about it. And yeah, I don't think and when I meet people, I'm not like, hi, I'm Hannah, I have a YouTube channel. So nobody really knows who I am for the most part. So no, I don't think people really treat me better or worse. I will say I've had instances where like I had a product, like something happened with the order where they randomly like canceled my order, and I tweeted at them and I was like, this is really annoying that you did this. Like, I'm just letting you know, because then they held the money for like a week and a half, and I was annoyed. And I had said previously, I was like, oh, I bought this to review you on my channel. I was like annoyed about it. I was like, hey, you did this. And I think I still have that mindset where like I don't think about the fact that I have a following now a little bit, like I have a little bit of a platform. So I didn't really think about the impact of that. But then the brand reached out to me and they were so nice and apologetic, and they were like, we want to send you a new one for free, like to try out. And I am trying it out right now. And but I know that they only did that because I have a following. So I guess in that sense, yes, like because I called them out on it, they were like, oh, we're so sorry, and they tried to like make it up to me. And I appreciate that, but also in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, but if I didn't have a YouTube following or a Twitter following, would you have ever reached out to me to like check in about this? Probably not, you know what I mean? So yeah. You start to feel out of touch with your audience as your role as an influencer grows. Not really, no, because I would say my life is a little bit strange, I think, in the sense that I have an internship that takes up a very good majority of my time through school. I'm in school still, so I go to my internship a lot and I don't really think about YouTube at all. And I work with normal people who don't know that I have a YouTube channel and don't care. I don't think they would care even if they knew, because like why would they care? I work with people who like are just normal people, and like I'm just a normal colleague to them, and I come home and I mean Charles like literally doesn't care, and like my family and I will talk about it sometimes, but like for the most part, like YouTube is really a personal thing that I do. I don't like spread it around, if that makes sense. So I don't really feel out of touch because I still just live my normal day-to-day life, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But also I don't live in like Los Angeles. I live in Rochester, New York. Like it's not, you know what I mean? Like I live a very normal life besides this very cool, crazy thing I get to do on the internet. So I don't really feel like I'm out of touch with people. I also don't feel like an influencer. That word is so strange to me. Do you feel more or less pressure to increase in subs compared to when you were small? You know, I think for me, YouTube has always been about the ebbs and flows. So like the end of last year, I really grew a lot very quickly, and that is starting to kind of slow down a little bit, because no growth is just going to be constant upswing. Like there's an end at some point. So I think for me, I grew really, really quickly, and now it's kind of slowing down. But at the same time, I've been posting less content because I've been really busy. So it kind of is all about ebbs and flows. Do I feel pressure to grow more? I actually feel less now than I did when I was smaller. I think hitting 100K was really like a huge milestone that I can be very content with now. And now it's just kind of like really bonus, because that was, I mean, there's videos of me from like 2 years ago being like, oh, maybe in like 5 years I'll hit 100,000. That was kind of always my end goal, was to get a plaque, you know. Now that I hit that goal and I'm still continuing with YouTube, I do think I feel less pressure to grow because I'm just very happy with where I am. I don't need 1 million. I feel very happy and content with where I am and like what I'm doing and the audience I do have. So I mean, obviously you want to grow, that's like the goal, but I'm not like super stressed about it. Whereas like I was super stressed about it last year, for sure. Way more stressed. What editing product do you use to edit your videos? A lot of you guys ask tech questions, and I think this is a really great question. So when I first started shooting my videos, I filmed on my phone, and I used an editing software on my phone. It was just a free random editing software. By the way, I like matcha now. I didn't know that about myself. It was just like a free, sorry, that was random, but I'm just realizing I love matcha. It was a free software on my phone. The only thing I could do was edit the beginning of the clip and the end of the clip. So no, my videos were pretty much completely unedited, and I uploaded them. And then actually my first video that did really well, I filmed on my laptop camera. So I had a laptop and I would film on that little webcam camera, and I edited on iMovie. I had a Mac, but pretty much most computers now come with editing software, and I know iPads you can get editing software on. I know phones, so it's really easy to get started. Will your quality be good? No, but like it doesn't really need to be. As I grew, I think what a lot of people don't know is probably the first 2 years that I was on YouTube, even when I eventually did start making like a little bit of money, I wasn't actually making that money, because I put literally all of it back into my YouTube channel. So like I got the computer that I started, I actually just paid this off, which is really exciting. But I did monthly payments to like get this big computer so I could have more storage and just have faster processing. And this was a huge investment for me, getting my big Mac. I got my first good camera. I actually have it right here. I got this. It didn't have the microphone at the time, but I got a DSLR. This is the Canon EOS Rebel SL2, and this is a great camera. I am probably gonna upgrade this soon just because I think I can do better. But again, that comes with growth, and you know, like I upgraded slowly as I made money. When I started getting like a little bit bigger paychecks from YouTube, that went into buying new lights, that went into buying a new camera, that went into buying the editing software that I use now, which, to answer your question, is Final Cut Pro, which to me, I personally think it's one of the best editing softwares. And like this past year in January, I needed a new laptop because my laptop didn't have the processing power it needed, and I invested in that because I realized that I was not putting out as many videos sometimes because I was stuck only being able to edit on this big computer. I didn't even have the option to possibly edit like a more simple video on the go, which I needed because I'm in school all the time and classes and stuff. So I invested in like a laptop. I invested in editing software for that laptop. I recently got the camera that I'm filming on now, which is the Canon G7X. I know that's a lot of information to throw at you all at once, but I think it's really important to note that like this was years. I've been on YouTube now, oh my gosh, how long even? Just over 2 years, going on 3 years. I've been on YouTube for a while, and it's been slowly accumulating these things. So I think a lot of people think they need like the lights, the cameras, the action, like all at once, and you absolutely don't. I think you can slowly build up, you know, what you're using and everything. One of my favorite things though now is going to Best Buy and like investing in the channel. Like we just bought, I bought a new microphone for the podcast, and it's like exciting. Like getting to buy new tech to invest in my quality of content is like very exciting for me. This one says, do you get burnout? How do you keep up with it? I don't know if I necessarily get burnt out from creating content, but I think I get burnt out now, which this is kind of new this past year. I don't get burnt out because I'm like, oh my God, I'm creating so much content. It's so difficult. Like the content creating part is actually very easy for me. It's time consuming, but it's easy for me to do and I love doing it. I think I get more burnt out from the action of posting and how it like eats up my entire day. I realize this now, especially because I did it for a whole year where I was basically posting 5 videos every week for a year. And it wasn't even the act of filming and editing and uploading that was hard for me. It was the act of posting, and then the rest of my night was dedicated to hearting comments. The rest of my night was dedicated to retweeting tweets about the video on social media. I was like, if I post from 6 p.m. when I post until I go to bed, it was like being sucked into this vortex of social media where I'm just constantly looking at analytics and statistics and the live view and all of that. And for whatever reason this year it just started to really drain me. And I think it's again because I was really grinding to get to 100,000 last year, and I was really like, that was my main goal. And I think now I got to that goal and I was so happy, and then I did Glowmas, and then I just needed to relax because it was just so much. It was like basically a year of constantly putting out content, constantly being sucked into that, and so I wanted to just take a little bit of a break. But again, I really don't think it had anything to do with like filming, editing, and uploading. It just had to do with I needed to like not necessarily be on social media as constantly as I was, because I think that's the hard part about doing YouTube is it's very hard to find boundaries. It's very hard to, with a normal job, it's like with my internship, for example, I go to work and then I leave and then that's it. Like sometimes I'll have like case notes I have to do or whatever, but that's pretty much the end of my day when I leave work. Whereas on YouTube, I could be 1 in the morning and I can't sleep, and now I'm working. Now I'm doing work for my channel. I'm coming up with ideas. I'm talking to people, like things like that. Is this your main source of income? Yes, this is YouTube and social media is actually my only source of income right now. So I think having this be my only income doesn't really scare me right now, but that is because I am only responsible for me. So, and I do help my boyfriend out a little bit with like student loans and stuff because we're able to do that, and we're gonna get married, so his debt will be my debt. So the quicker we pay it off, the better. For me, it doesn't really scare me because if this ever wasn't becoming monetizable anymore, I would just go get a job. So like I would just go get a job. It's not like a hard thing for me to think about to have have to like leave this all behind and go get a job. I would still make videos, but I would like need to get another source of income. I'm not like, but I do think if I were to have, and this is why I say I would never make this like my full-time gig forever, is if I had like kids, or even now with Oliver, I get kind of stressed out. Like I need to make sure I have a lot of savings. So if anything ever happened to Oliver, my dog, he'd be like good to go, regardless of if, you know, I had a good month on YouTube or not. But yeah, it's not really scary right now because it is pretty good income. Feels weird saying that, but it is. It's like a very good income, and I get money from a lot of different places too. So I think that kind of helps. Diversifying my income is really important, I think. How much more stressful is the workload compared to when you were a smaller YouTuber? I think the workload's a little bit more just because there's more pressure to have good content and not have content that has mistakes. So for example, like for Talktorial Tuesday, where I was talking about my Europe trip, I was like, oh, right here, I'm gonna include some clips of me at the Louvre. And then I like didn't because I thought I cut out the part where I said that because I didn't end up having time before I needed to upload the video to include clips of me at the Louvre. So I thought I'd cut that out, but then I didn't. And then people commented about it and I was like, or like I made a mistake with my intro where it had, I addressed this on Twitter because it became like a little bit of a thing. I had made an intro for my video very quickly before I left for my trip for my new videos because everyone kept commenting they liked the new intro that I had done, like I had someone do, they liked it, but the song, it was too short to go with the song that I had initially had. So everyone was like, we really missed the song. And I was like, okay, like I respect that. So I was gonna make a quick intro and then figure it out when I got home. So I made a very quick, sloppy intro. And one of the pictures I pulled, it was just like literally just a stock image of glitter, like a glitter background, had a watermark on it. Totally missed it, didn't see it. And I had all of my pre-filmed videos with that intro. And people started commenting being like, did you steal this from an artist who made it for you? People in my comments just being like, you know, what's going on? And I tried to explain it and everything, but it just, I didn't end up posting the like last 2 videos I had pre-filmed because I just felt like that was so unprofessional, because it was. I'm just gonna like not do that. I'm just not gonna post those videos and I'm not gonna do it. And it sucked because I kind of lost the income from those videos, but at the same time, I can't post videos like that. I can't post videos that are like that unprofessional and have that level of like a mistake in them. So I think that's the only place where the workload gets more intense for me, is for situations like that where I just need to make sure my videos are like a good quality. Do you feel the pressure to create an online presence versus the real? Not particularly. I feel like I am probably a little bit more like, hi, in my videos than I am in real life. Like my boyfriend doesn't walk in and I'm like, hello. But you know, I think I'm a little bit probably more bubbly on camera, but I think this is really realistically who I am as a person. Yeah, I swear a lot more in my real life, but that's been exposed. So a lot of people were asking about income with YouTube and working with companies. So I'll just give you the best insight that I can and go from there. I don't like to talk about exactly how much I make. I wish I could actually, because I think it's really interesting and I think a lot of people like wouldn't know that, especially at my size. But I do think there are kind of these like stipulations with the ad, the way we get paid Google AdSense. There are stipulations about how there's like this rumor that you're not, if you talk about it, you'll get demonetized. And I just don't want to really risk that. I know people say it's not true, but like, I don't know. The other aspect of it is just like, I think there is kind of some people see it as like bragging, which is never what I want to come across as. As far as income goes, I probably make, I'm trying to think of how to say this. I make more doing YouTube than I will probably ever make in a career as a social worker, like as far as yearly salary. My yearly salary on YouTube is higher than I will probably ever make as a social worker. Not by like, I'm not a millionaire. I'm not like raking in the mills, but I make more than I will as a social worker, which is nice because it's allowed me to, you know, start investments and to start a retirement, you know, thing. And the thing about YouTube that I think a lot of people don't know is how varying the months are month to month. So let's just pull up right now, I guess. I guess I could tell you, YouTube has this thing called the Creator Studio, which a lot of people don't know about when they're first starting out. They don't know about the Creator Studio. I would highly recommend you download the app because it gives you some really good information and you're able to look at your analytics. So you're able to look at like your ad revenue, you're able to look at what you're earning, you're able to look at what your audience is more interested in. So if they're more interested in one video than another, I get to see that. I get to see my live views. So in the last 48 hours, I've had 87,529 views and it updates live for me. me. I have 145,000 subscribers. It'll show me your channel got 1.3 million views in the last 28 days. It'll tell you how many subscribers you're up. So like right now my subscribers is lower because I was in that boom a couple months ago. My watch time though is like the same, which is good. My views about the same, which is what you want. So even if your subscribers are lower, you want your views and your watch time to be similar, right? Shows me my top videos. So this month it was my Jaclyn Hill Will Never Learn video. That was my biggest one this month. So my other ones are much smaller in comparison. I don't know if any of this is interesting, but it's interesting because they're able to show you your engagement, how your engagement is doing. So, you know, you get to see your watch time in hours. You get to see what playlists do well. You get to see how quickly people are clicking on your videos and how that's doing, things like that. So then we get into, you also get to see your audience analytics, which is so interesting because like for me, 43% of the people who watch my videos are not subscribed, whereas 56 are. What you want is about a 50% ratio there. So I'm a little bit higher than what you want on average, which is 50% subscribed and not subscribed. That's like what is considered good. With I'm 94% female, shocking nobody. For my thing, my age ranges are like 18 to 34. Those are my biggest demographics. Most of my viewers are from the United States. We get to see things like that, which I find really interesting. I think that's important to note about certain analytics is you do want to be sitting at a certain place. The thing they say about engagement, which this kind of segues into brands. You want good engagement if you want to work with brands. I don't work with a ton of brands. I am starting to accept more sponsorships, and I think you'll see those in the next couple of months because I'm starting to get like good ones. Like I'm starting to get ones that I would actually recommend and use, you know what I mean? So I'm starting to get more of those, and because I'm starting to get more of those and because I'm starting to get good sponsorships, I'll probably make more income from that. But the reason I'm able to request the income that I want from those sponsorships is because of engagement. What is considered good on YouTube, which I think a lot of people don't know, is 10% engagement. So if you have 1,000 subscribers, if you're getting 100 views a video, that is considered really good. That means your engagement is good. I think a lot of people think it should be higher, that your engagement needs to be like 50%, and that's just unreasonable. That's not really what happens. So for me, I need a video to get about 14,000 views, and then that will be hitting what I need and what I would consider like a success. You know what I mean? And it goes up and down. So that's why people like James Charles, if he doesn't get a minimum of like 1 million views on a video, that's why he considers that a bad video, because it's less than the 10% engagement that he would want. So that's something important to note too, is engagement is really important. So even you'll see people who have 500,000 subscribers, but they're getting 5,000 views a video, and that is because of their size, the ratio. It's going to impact how you can like work with brands and things like that. The other thing about revenue is you have this thing called CPM. This basically is what you will earn per 1,000 monetizable clicks, and this fluctuates a lot. So monetizable clicks, normally most of your clicks are going to be monetizable, but sometimes people are going to click on the video and there's not going to be an ad to show them. So for me, my CPM is actually really high right now. Ever since December, it was super high, and then it's just stayed really high. So my CPM hovers, the lowest it's been in the past month, I can tell you, is $11.81, and it peaked at the highest mid-February at $20 for CPM, which is really high. I don't know why I have a high CPM, because I know it fluctuates. I know some people who have like a $3 CPM, and I know other people who have like a $30 CPM. So it really, really fluctuates between creator to creator. My CPM seems to stay relatively steady at where it's at. It dips sometimes to like the $10, but even that is still considered pretty good. But this fluctuates a lot. So in the summer, it could get as low as like $4, which that sucks. Because then you're going from making like $500 a video. You're going from making that to $30 a video. So the CPM can really screw you over when it fluctuates. When it's high, it's good. You have to take advantage of it, but when it's low, definitely sucks. During Christmas time, during December, the CPMs are notoriously at their absolute highest because every advertiser is paying a premium to get their ads on videos because it's the holidays and they're marketing to you. So that's why a lot of people, including myself, I wouldn't say the main reason I do Glowmas is for the money, but I would say it's definitely a really good payoff. Like, it's a lot of work doing Vlogmas, or what I do is is Glomus. It's a lot of work. The monetary payoff is massive. Like, it's so much bigger than if you were to do that in a different month, which is why I think a lot of people do it, is because it makes the effort that you put in worth it, if that makes sense. I don't want to see people just do it for the money, because I do think it's more just like the effort you put into it definitely pays off. I think there are other ways to make a little bit of income too. So like I mentioned, working with brands, finding your rate is a little difficult. I found this little formula. I'll insert a picture right here. I found this little formula of how to figure out what you would rate, you know, what your rate would be. I go based on my average views per video, which my average views, I believe I get about 40 to 50,000 views a video average. So that's counting in the big videos that I've done and also the videos that don't do as well. Right in the middle is about 40 to 50,000 views a video, which is pretty good for a channel of my size. I'm really proud of that. I'm very proud of the engagement that I get. I think engagement is probably one of the most important parts about doing YouTube, and it's the part people talk about the least. Everybody wants to talk about like subscribers and stuff, which is fine, but if you have a ton of subscribers and nobody's watching your stuff, something's not connecting, right? So I'm very proud that my engagement is so high. That's like a really feels good. But again, if you're working with brands, like that is something that you would want to bring up is listen, like I know my numbers might be a little bit smaller, but you can do this at 5,000 subscribers. If you're at 5,000 subscribers and you're getting 3,000 views a video, that's not something to, you know, snub your nose at as a brand. Like that's a really high engagement. So I think when it comes to determining like rates and things like that, it can feel awkward to ask for money or ask for like a certain rate, to be like, yeah, I'll take this much to talk about something for 60 seconds. That's why I think it's really good to try to, my personal advice is you're going to make more money in the long run by being reliable than trying to make a quick buck by selling something you don't believe in. So even though it may be tempting to take a big payout for, like I got reached out to by that app. What is that one? It's like a video game app or something that everyone on YouTube, is it Clash of Clans? Clash of Titans? I don't know. It's some video game app reached out and they were like, we'll pay you a crazy amount of money to talk about this. And it's tempting to be like, yeah, sure. Like I need that money, like sure. But then at the end of the day, it's like, no, but nobody from my audience is actually gonna go buy that. Like it's not realistic. And people are gonna think I'm weird for even recommending it to them, so out of character. Like you have to kind of like stay within your brand. You can't be doing, I think like video gamers and like podcasters can kind of get away with it, but I think people like me, it's a little bit like I'm mostly beauty focused, so to do an ad, it's like here's this crazy violent video game that I would never play, like go get it, like that would be really out of character. So even though it is tempting, it's good to keep your credibility at times, because I think over time you make more money having credibility than just doing like the crazy ad reads. Yeah, I hope that all made sense. I hope that was like an interesting kind of video and you guys got to learn a little bit more about it. I think the money aspect is really interesting. That's like the most interesting part to me anyway. But I think it's good to let you guys know like what's going on with it. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, or just subscribe, or do neither. Honestly, just so happy you're watching me. Thank you so much for being here. My merch, my social media, and everything I'm wearing on my face will be linked down below, along with a link to register to vote. That's right. You can click on that link, you can register to vote, and you can be part of your democracy. It's like a crazy fun thing. And yeah, if you're not from the United States, that link does not apply to you. Please make sure you're staying informed on what's going on locally, federally. Use your voice in a positive way if you can, because the world really does need more of it. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!